So, hello everybody. I'm very glad to be here to tell you about our way of doing research at SimLab. We have heard a lot about, let's say, natural science research of very, very nanoscale, and then the big galaxy scale research of phenomena in nature, the very basic research. Now, our research is about the behavior of human beings, of people interacting together. So this is a different field of science. It belongs to behavioral sciences. So we are part of the Department of Industrial Engineering and Management at the School of Science as well, but our scientific paradigm is different than in the natural sciences. So this makes it, my presentation maybe gives you another angle to what research and science can deal with and how we do our research. Basically what we are looking at, the phenomenon of our research, is business co-creation, how people together create business and how they transform business in networks. And our specific focus is on the processes, how people work together in networks, and how they develop service innovations together and business models together. So it's very much about collaborative innovation. At the same time, when we study this, we also develop our own methods. So we design new methods how to study better and better this phenomenon in face-to-face collaboration as well as virtually. We conduct teaching and research closely together in interaction. And our teaching is in business process networks, module in the information networks, multidisciplinary degree program, where industrial engineering and management, computer science, and media technology together produce master's degrees. Our doctors graduate from industrial engineering and management. We use research projects as teaching platforms, so research and teaching really go hand in hand, and our students are in our research teams to study with us together the companies and their collaborative innovation. Our group is very multidisciplinary. There are around 30 of us. We have FIDI-Pro Professor Sirkka Järvenpää with us and one teaching research scientist, and 10 doctoral students, 10 research assistants at the time, being 2 technical experts and 1 coordinator. So it is a rather big group and in different disciplines. So it is really multidisciplinary. We, in addition to industrial management and computer science, information systems science, we have also economics, education, social sciences, communication, and law in our group. What we have studied so far, starting from demand-supply processes of companies to research and development, customer relationship management, HR processes, e-learning and knowledge management processes, strategy processes, IT outsourcing and services, public-private service processes in networks between public companies or public organizations and private companies, like well-being and education being examples of those, even urban planning processes and network processes where even the residents of areas are involved, the end users of the new area, and always also the related business models. So it is very much cross-sectoral, you could say. We are not limited to any sector. And we have been working since 1998 on this topic. SimLab has been around since 1998, and there's a lot of companies and municipalities we have been working with, studying them as pilots in our research. Here you see types of our interventions. So the basic idea of our research is that we bring these partners together to simulate their collaboration in dialogue, that we support by using visual boundary objects like process charts or other prototypes, whatever that we can design for them to be able to co-create knowledge together. Our researchers facilitate the dialogue and help them to develop these new innovations, and at the same time they study the dynamics of this very collaborative innovation. So we have been running these face-to-face simulations as well as virtual, like you see in these pictures. So here is the very basic SimLab business process simulation, where we bring the people in front of a process chart to discuss their collaboration together. Here is a co-creation workshop where there's less structure in the facilitated dialogue. Then we have the telepresence model of our process simulation, and finally in Second Life the whole facilitation of interaction between people is done in Second Life in the virtual space. And we design these research interventions very carefully. We have our own process for that, and this is run like a separate simulation project, or it can be another type of co-creation workshop project as well, but with a specific process that we use so that we can also collect the data systematically out of these. So from this project, the companies or the other pilot organizations that together work in those case examples that we study, they get immediate, let's say, development benefit out of those one-day workshops typically. And they learn and they create their collaboration and their business processes together. And at the same time, we video record and observe and collect a lot of data out of these events and get a lot of empirical data for our research and for our teaching. So our students are basically the facilitators, and they interview, collect the data, they facilitate the dialogue and analyze it afterwards in teams with more experienced researchers and our master's thesis students together. And from this blue stream, we get the scientific knowledge. And here, let's say, the customer of our work is the scientific community and our students. So we combine here the research with the empirical world, with our companies, together with our research aims and our education aims. And the researchers, like I told, they work in teams and they design first these interventions. They are the co-designers of the interventions together with those case organizations. And they design the whole from the research point of view, from the development point of view, the final simulation day, they set objectives together with the companies, and they model the processes and other boundary objects that help in this knowledge co-creation. And thereafter, in the very simulation day, they facilitate this intervention. They at first prepare, collect and analyze the data before. They design the process model, like I told. They co-develop the objectives together with the companies and prepare the manuscript for the intervention. And then in the simulation itself, they put questions, they encourage the dialogue, they organize group work on the critical points that arise from the dialogue, and they manage the schedule of the day because it is really limited as well. So it's one limitation that has to be taken into account. And they observe and collect the data systematically. So it is really a research team's work. So there's very much to do in those interventions. Here you see the facilitating researcher with the group. So there might be 30 people sitting in SimLab in dialogue, in interaction, interactive dialogue that the facilitator facilitates in front of the process chart. And then the group works on the specific points. From each intervention, like we call them, we get a lot of data. So there are interview recordings and transcriptions. There are the video and audio recordings of the dialogue during the very intervention day. There's a lot of observation from the day and from the project, the whole project, how it went, and documentary data from the companies, follow-up interviews as audio recordings and transcribed into text, and later on surveys. So there's a lot of raw material for our research. So we do multiple methods and we apply many theoretical lenses depending on the multidisciplinary team and the different research interests of the team. So we do content analysis of the observations and of the video recordings, and here we also visually analyze the data, and we finally can get into the, let's say, the network structure of the human interaction during these workshops as well. And we can do comparative analysis across the several intervention projects, and also quantitative survey analysis and quantitative analysis of the network structures as well. So here you see some pictures of our video analysis setups, and on the left upper corner, the new video analysis laboratory, where even the analysis phase can be done collaboratively. So because it's such a rich data, we can analyze visually, we can analyze in text, in audio, and so on. The gestures and everything is there, so very rich data. So it's good to have also a team of researchers analyzing that and annotating the data together. And we have been using the video analysis also for Second Life environments, so we can also do video on Second Life interaction. And here are the topics of our research that we study: collaboration, co-creation, and innovation in value networks. So basically, the hard topics, so to say, of our research are questions about structure and coordination in network processes, the intellectual property rights in those processes and projects, contracting there, the business models that are created, and the integration of processes and ICT in the networked systems and processes. Services is a very prime example of a networked process. It always involves the customers, the customer organizations and end users, and so it's very networked. And the topics here on the left and our specific, what we are looking at right now, are these yellow topics here in the center. We are looking at the facilitation itself and how that affects the dynamics. Co-creation methods is one important point that we are just looking and developing ourselves through our own research. Knowledge creation over boundaries and innovation creation over boundaries is a very interesting topic, and so on. A video analysis as such, how we analyze our data, is also a very hot question right at this moment. And we are doing this analysis and asking these questions about collaboration in face-to-face as well as in virtual spaces, which is a very interesting topic to compare, because people cannot afford nowadays to come together for innovation in one room, but they are dispersed in different locations and on different continents. This is another visualization of the same research topics that we have. Finally, what are the projects that we work on now? Because, as I said, the teaching and research go hand in hand, and the projects are our platforms for our research. So here are the current research projects funded by Tekes and the Academy of Finland and EU. Some shock projects as well, which have been presented on the posters in the lobby. And finally, our research, how we publish about our research. So like I told, we combine the research interventions with practical benefit to the pilots, but also with scientifically ambitious goals. So these come hand in hand. So here are our publications from the recent. Some of our publications, very selected. I took some examples from the recent years. So thank you.